Hi, I'm going to teach you today about the Indian algorithm for subtraction. People around the world subtract in different ways, and I just learned that, so I was excited to learn a new way to subtract, and I'm going to show you. And then we're going to check it using our standard algorithm that we usually use here in the United States. We're going to subtract 146 from 300. Now, in our algorithm, we start in the ones column. But in the Indian algorithm, we start subtracting in the furthest column to the left. So we're going to start here in the 100s column in this problem. We can subtract. We have enough. 3 minus 1 is 2. Now we're going to go to the tens column. I can't subtract 4 from 0, so I have to borrow. But normally we would borrow from our next door neighbor. But in the Indian algorithm, we don't borrow from our next door neighbor. We go next door and down the street. And we borrow from the digit in our answer column. So we're going to borrow from the 2 in the difference. And we're going to put our little 1 mark right here. We've actually borrowed 10 tens. So now we have 10 tens that we can subtract from. 10 minus 4 is 6. Now, we're done with that column for now. Now we're going to go to the ones column. We again can't take 6 away from 0, so we have to borrow. We're not going to borrow from our next door neighbor. We're going to go next door and down the street. We're going to borrow from the digit in the answer with that slash. I'll tell you what to do with the slashes in a minute. We're going to carry our 10 ones that we've borrowed. Now we have 10 ones in the ones place, and we can subtract. 10 minus 6 is 4. Now we're done subtracting, and we can finish our answer. The slashes tell us that we need to reduce that digit by 1. So we're going to do that now. The 2 becomes a 1. The 6 becomes a 5. And the 4 doesn't have a slash, so it stays the same. So 300 minus 146 is 154. That's our answer. Now let's check it using the standard algorithm. We have the same problem. Okay, when we start in the ones column in the standard algorithm. And we can't take 6 away from 0, so we have to borrow from the neighbor. But nobody's home, so we have to go to their neighbor and borrow. So we're going to borrow, and we're going to put that slash through the 3. Remember, we had a slash in the digits in the answer in the Indian algorithm. But we normally put the new digit, we rename that digit. And we're actually borrowing 100, but it's going to look like 10 tens. And we're going to put that, now we have 10 tens in the tens column. And we can subtract. But first we want to get over here because we start all the way on the right. So now we can borrow from the 10, we rename it, it becomes a 9, and we take the 10 that we borrow, we're actually borrowing 10 ones, and we're going to put them in our ones column. And now we can subtract. 10 minus 6 is 4. 9 minus 4 is 5. And 2 minus 1 is 1. And we get 154, which is the same thing we got in the Indian algorithm. And so now you know 2 different ways to subtract. It's kind of cool. Happy subtracting!